Thank you for joining us. Welcome to LumioseStation.
What's up, LumioseStation, and welcome back to another episode of the Pokemon DataDex with me, TheOneIntegral. So again, we're carrying on our 6 weeks, I think it was, of 6 weeks of Mega Evolutions. And as you can tell by the title, the video, the thumbnail, whatever, we are covering Mega Lopunny today. I did see a few people down in the comment section asking for me to cover it, so sure, why not? Last week we covered Mega Metagross, this week we're covering Mega Lopunny, so be sure to drop some more suggestions down below in the comment section. They can be Auras Megas or X and Y Megas, I really just whatever I haven't covered so far. So, you know, maybe if it's maybe Mega Ordino, anyone want to see that? I doubt it, but if someone wants to see it, you know, drop it down in the comment section. The one that people seem like they want to hear about most, of course, I will then cover next week, and the 3 weeks after that as well. We have 4 left, so let's do it, guys. Suggest down below. Anyway, as I said, this week we're covering Lopunny, so let's get it on. So, Lopunny is number 428 in the National Pokédex and is a pure normal type. It's the rabbit Pokemon, who would have guessed? And that's it for Lopunny, introduced in Generation 4, a Sinnoh Pokemon, evolving from Baneri. Dimensions wise, Lopunny stands at 3 foot 11 inches or 1.2 meters, so it's very small actually, just like, you know, I guess twice the size of a normal rabbit, and weighs 73.4 pounds or 33.3 kilograms. It's in the field and human-like egg groups, and the male-female split is equal at 50-50, so you're not more likely to get one than the other. Evolution chain wise, as I said, it evolves from Baneri, and it does this upon high friendship basically, so get it to a high friendship level, and then, well, maximum friendship I should really say, and then level it up, and you will get yourself a Lopunny. If we take a quick look at Lopunny's base stats, we can see they're not brilliant, okay? Its health points is 65, which is pretty low. Its attack is 76, which isn't anything to shout about. Defense is 84. Special attack is 54, which is even worse, so we're obviously not going to be using Lopunny as a special attacker here. Its special defense is 96, and its highest stat is actually speed at 105, so all that Lopunny really has to say about itself is the high speed stat. That's all it really has to shout about. Ability wise, it has 3 available to it, the first one being Cute Charm, which means that contact with this Pokemon may infatuate the person or the other Pokemon that comes into contact with it, so could be useful, you know, it'd be an every now and again thing. And the thing with Lopunny is, as we've seen with her defences, or his defences, or its defences I should really say, shouldn't genderise Pokemon, defence and special defence are both fairly low, they're not particularly high, so Lopunny isn't going to be this huge, you know, defensive wall sort of thing. If it was a physically defensive wall, then maybe Cute Charm would be a bit more useful, or at least some sort of wall, so it could actually take attacks and infatuate Pokemon that way, but really it's not going to be able to take attacks enough, especially since Cute Charm only activates on actual contact moves. So, you know, if a special attacker is attacking you, that's not going to come into effect at all. So really, it's not brilliant. Its other main ability, or basic ability I should really say, is Klutz, which means it can't use any held items. Sounds really bad, I know. We will be using it later on though, and I will explain its use in the set when we get there. And it seems really weird if you guys don't know the set already, but it does work, I guess. And the hidden ability for Lopunny is actually Limber, which protects it from paralysis, so that's the best ability here because, you know, you can't get paralysed. That's pretty good, you know, you don't have to worry about static at all, Thunder Wave isn't going to affect you, so several sort of, I guess, situations here it's going to be quite useful, whereas Cute Charm is only going to be useful every now and again. Obviously Klutz is, not what, I mean, as I said, it is useful in 1 or 2 situations, which we'll look at, so be sure to watch out for that in a minute, guys. But that's it for Lopunny's basic stuff. Then, since it's a pure normal type, if we take a quick look at the typing, it doesn't resist anything, because that's what normal types do. They're normal, so they don't have any, well, I say they don't have any strengths or weaknesses. They have weaknesses, but they don't have any strengths in terms of defense, so that's something to watch out for there. As I've already mentioned, Lopunny is not defensive, so it's not going to be taking many attacks because it can't resist any attacks. I mean, it's weak to fighting, so watch out for those fighting type moves, definitely, because those will not be nice when they hit you, but it is immune to ghost type moves, so that is something you can rely on, I guess. You know, you can't really rely on it because you could get, what's the move? I can't even remember the move that could be used to allow normal types to be hit by ghost type moves. Odor Sleuth, that's the one, but no one runs Odor Sleuth in competitive. If they did, I would have to do something. But yeah, basically that's that there, and it takes neutral from all those other types there, so you really aren't going to be that defensive, guys, so you really have to watch out for it when using Lopunny, because you're just not going to be able to survive any attacks, point blank. So if we then take a look at the highlighted moves for Lopunny, what moves it can learn, what moves are useful in it, etc, etc. First up we have, at level 13, or with TM27, we have Return, which is a normal type move, and it does damage dependent on friendship. Now, as we know, Lopunny is evolving from Baneri at maximum friendship, so obviously it's going to be fairly high in the first place. But Return is a very powerful normal type move, one of the most powerful ones in the game actually, just sort of second to Giga Impact, Hyper Beam and Double Edge as well. But Return is just going to allow you to do decent damage, just like 109, I think it's 109 or maybe 110 base power at maximum, which is pretty darn high. So max out that happiness, max out that friendship, whatever you want to refer to it as, and it's going to do decent damage there, and obviously you're going to get stab on it as well. Then, level 23, it learns Jump Kick, which is a fighting type move. Physical, as we're not going to look at any special moves here. Please don't use a special Lopunny, I would cry. But physical, Jump Kick is pretty high base power, base damage, but it is the same sort of thing as High Jump Kick. If you take damage, or if you miss the attack rather, you are going to take some damage from it, and it doesn't have 100% accuracy, so that's something to watch out for. It's a risky move, not as risky as High Jump Kick, but a bit risky still, just not as much. Then in level 63 it learns Healing Wish. Now Healing Wish actually kills the Pokemon, but the Pokemon that then switches in will have full health points and will be healed of all sort of status afflictions and whatnot. So it's really good, especially since Lopunny has a high speed stat. It's good because if you know you're going to die next turn, say they've sent out a wall or something and you're toxic and you know you're going to die next turn for toxic, you can just go for Healing Wish. You're faster than the opponent, hopefully at least, which means they can't kill you before you used Healing Wish, and then you get to heal up a Pokemon of your choice, which is actually pretty useful. So I wouldn't write off Healing Wish, especially since Lopunny's move pool it's not a huge move pool, so Healing Wish is always something that you could carry to help out and have a sort of, as a wisher, a one-time wish, but it could it could change the game. Who knows? But then in Oras only in Oras, not in X and Y, at level 66 it will learn High Jump Kick. So as I mentioned earlier, just a more powerful version of Jump Kick. It's going to do recoil to you if you miss, but it will do damage to them if you hit it, so it's definitely worth the risk. There are alternatives though, which we'll look at later on. Then, TM73, it learns, or can learn, Thunder Wave, which is obviously going to paralyze the opponent, and could be useful in some cases. I mean, it's not a brilliant because you haven't got any flinching moves, so you can't really go Thunder Wave and then just sort of go for that. You haven't got Serene Grace either. It's not like a Togekiss, for example. But Thunder Wave, paralysis is good to have on any Pokemon, pretty much. Well, basically any Pokemon, apart from some Quick Feel. Well, you guys get the idea. Basically, it's good to have on a Pokemon. On an enemy Pokemon, not on yours. I'm sure you guys know that though. But Thunder Wave is good to have if you can get one off, so it's definitely a good idea, especially because you're faster again as well. So get a Thunder Wave off, and there's a chance they might be paralysed on the turn you paralyse them. So it's certainly a good move to use, certainly a viable move. Then we have TM90 Substitute. Now we use this along with one of the other moves we can learn later on in terms of, I'll talk more about it in terms of the set, but Substitute sacrifices some of your health for a substitute. So if you can then gain health back behind that substitute, then that substitute is worth. So certainly something a very viable move, especially if you can force a switch, for example. So if someone predicts, if you switch out on someone that's going to be weak, for example, if you're going to use a Mega Lopunny set, if you switch out against, I have no idea, someone with low defense, for example, then they might switch out to someone with high defense, in which case you can set up a sub, then hopefully you'll be able to regenerate health behind that sub and go on from there. Then, looking at the egg moves, we have one here which is Fake Out, which is going to fake out, obviously. It's going to have priority, it's going to pretty much what am I saying? It's to be faster than most things. I wouldn't say everything, but most things Fake Out is going to be faster than, and it will inflict a flinch as well, definitely, well, unless they have inner focus. So most of the time, it will inflict a flinch, which is definitely good because you can just get some free damage pretty much, especially with the high attack stat from Mega Lopunny, as we'll look at in a minute. You can get free flinch and free damage pretty much, and you could you can't really suss out and see what they're doing, but it's useful, you know. You could fake out and you could just switch out next turn if you really wanted to, and then come in again and fake out again and just get loads of free damage off, but obviously it's dependent on what you can actually do in battle. Another egg move we have is actually a dark type move, which is Switcheroo. Now what this does is it switches your item with your enemy's item. So you get what they have what you have, they get what you have. You guys get the idea. So if you're holding leftovers and they were holding life orb, you did Switcheroo, you get life orb, they get leftovers. So you could potentially ruin some sort of strategies here. Say you're battling against, I don't know, a Gliscor with Toxic Orb. And you go out first turn, you Switcheroo, you get Toxic Orb, obviously you're going to get Toxic there, which isn't brilliant, but they can't use their Toxic Orb to poison themselves and use their poison here, for example, so it could screw them over in some cases, but you have to watch out where you're using that, but I'll explain more once we use it in a sec. Then, another egg move we have here is Encore. Now Encore actually could be useful, especially since you're a fast Pokemon. So, say they've just used Sword Stance and you switched out to your Lopunny. You could Encore them into Sword Stance, because hopefully you'll be fast, and depending on the Pokemon, you could be faster, you can Encore, they're going to be stuck in Sword Stance for a number of turns, or have to switch out, so you're either forcing a switch, or forcing them to just take your attacks, or whatever you want to do to them. You could do whatever you wanted to do. You could attack them, you could paralyze them, you could whatever you want, while they're stuck using a Sword Dance, or of course switching out. Then another egg move, or possibly a tutor move for Oras, in terms of which one I want to go for here. Egg is harder to get to, but tutor is going to cost you battle points, so really it depends on what you can do, so watch out for that there. But that's Fire Punch, and that's going to do decent damage, physical again, decent fire damage, decent physical damage, etc. And it's good coverage as well. Obviously being a normal type, it doesn't get stabbed or anything, but normal type moves. But the fire type move here, I mean, it's good coverage for just grass, bug, steel, other stuff, you know, especially steel. Steel is going to resist normal. You're going to be stuck completely against normal types, especially since most are physically defensive, so it's definitely a viable move to use. Then another egg or tutor again, Ice Punch, coverage for ice type moves, and then after that we have Thunder Punch, coverage for electric type moves, so really, you know, it's just free coverage moves there. And then one move that's just tutor, which is Drain Punch. That's what I was talking about earlier with the substitute. If you can set a sub up and then Drain Punch behind it, you get your health back and your substitute's still there, and assuming they haven't got rid of it already. And this is your alternative to High Jump Kick, because basically High Jump Kick it's a risky move, whereas Drain Punch is actually maybe more of a conservative move, which, you know, you can do some damage and actually get some health points back and maybe not die, and there's no chance of getting hit by a recoil, for example. But those are the highlighted moves there for Lopunny, etc. So let's take a quick look at Mega Lopunny. So, as you might have heard already or guessed, Mega Lopunny gains the fighting type upon Mega Evolving, and we'll look at the changes to the typing that does in a second. So it's a normal fighting type now. It gets taller and it actually gets lighter, funnily enough, and goes to 4 foot 3 inches or 1.3 meters and weighs 62.4 pounds or 28.3 kilograms. So it actually sheds about 5 kilograms or the equivalent of pounds, which is pretty good. You know, it's certainly lost some weight. It's got a nice diet there. Megastone wise, the Lopunite can be found in Movepool City in the Movepool Halls section, and it's actually received from the Loan Shark. If you I can't remember the exact event, but there's an apartment. If you interact with it one time, the man will have his stuff taken away by the Loan Shark, and if you talk to the Loan Shark again outside the apartment, he'll give you the Lopunite, which you received as payment. So that's that there. So then if we look at the base stats Mega Lopunny gets when it Mega Evolves, its health points stay the same at 65, so it's still pretty frail, which is something to watch out for there. But its attack rockets up to 136. It gains a boost of, my lord, let me do the math, 136 from 76, that's a boost of 60. Gains a boost of 60 in attack. Defense 94, so it goes up slightly. Special attack stays the same at 54. As I said, we're not going to use it as a special attacker at all, so we're just going to ignore that there. And then its special defense 96, so that doesn't go up there, it stays the same, but its speed again pretty much skyrockets and goes up to 135, getting a nice and decent boost of 20 there. So it's a very fast and a very highly attacking Pokemon, which is the two main traits of Lopunny basically. The fixed speed is going to help out with stuff again, as I mentioned, Healing Wish earlier, that's going to help out with that, and the attack is just going to help do all the damage pretty much. Ability wise though, Scrappy is the ability for Mega Lopunny, which actually allows normal type and fighting type moves to hit ghost type Pokemon. Seems like a bit of a meh ability, but this means Mega Lopunny has two moves, normal and fighting. It can hit any single Pokemon with a stab move. I say any single Pokemon, it can't hit Shedinja, okay, with a stab move, but you guys get the idea. So it can hit Sableye with a super effective fighting type move, which could definitely do damage there. It can hit Spiritomb with a super effective fighting type move. It can hit, you know, you guys get the idea, any ghost pretty much. So trying to think of ghost types. Aegislash, Steel Ghost type, bopped with Mega Lopunny with your fighting type move, so it's a good counter to an Aegislash actually, in some ways. Anyway, but Scrappy is a brilliant ability for Mega Lopunny to have, and certainly something it's going to benefit from. But that's the main stuff about Mega Lopunny. Okay, so as I mentioned, as you know, Mega Lopunny is a normal fighting type, so that actually affects the typing. It's got a new type now, so of course it's going to. So it now resists 3 types, so Rock, Bug and Dark, thanks to the fighting type coming along, but now it also gains 3 weaknesses, which are Flying, Psychic and Fairy, adding on to its fighting type weakness. It's still immune to Ghost type moves, that's a good thing there, but then it takes neutral from everything else, again, apart from Rock, Bug, Dark, Flying, Psychic, Fairy, and the ones we had before. Is this a good idea? Is this a good thing or not? I'd say it's a good thing, to be honest. At least you have some attack or some moves you actually resist. However, they're not that common moves. Rock, Bug, Dark, not really that common. So unfortunately, it's gonna not have, it's not gonna boost you up too much. Flying, Psychic, Fairy. Fairy's fairly common in the new game when new type in Generation 6. Psychic's fairly common as well. Flying, not so much, which is a good thing. But really, they're not the best types to have resistances. One good thing is, though, you do resist Dark type moves, hence Sucker Punch is resisted, so possibly, depending on the setup, of course, you could survive a Sucker Punch, and that will allow you to then, obviously that's a good counter against fast attackers. Use a Sucker Punch, and then they get hit by it, of course. But, if you resist it, then that's going to be, it's going to be good for you, I guess, if you guys understand me there. But that's that there for typing, so let's go and look at the competitive sets for Lopunny. I've got 2 for Lopunny, and then a basic Mega Lopunny set. So, first one is sort of just an attacking Lopunny, as you might guess, as you might see in lower tiers, or as you would have seen before Generation 6, and before its Mega came out. So moveset here is Drain Punch or High Jump Kick, Return, Ice Punch, and then Fake Out, Fire Punch or Thunder Punch. Ability is Limber, Nature is Jolly, held item here is a Choice Band, a Life Orb or an Assault Vest, and the EV is going maximum attack, maximum speed, and the rest in defense. So, Drain Punch or High Jump Kick. Obviously we're using normal Lopunny here, so there's not actually any stab from it, so we don't get as higher power, but it is still a pretty powerful move. Drain Punch is what you run anyway, but now it has High Jump Kick from its level up in Auras, so that's a very viable move to have, because there's more power obviously, and Lopunny is not a Pokemon to hang around. It's not going to hang around a battle for ages. It's going to go in, it's going to do some damage, and then it's going to get taken out. That's just how it works. So High Jump Kick might not be too bad on the move to have, even with a recoil, because you're going to get gone pretty soon anyway, so is it, the risk might be worth it, who knows. Anyway, then we have Return, which is your main or your only stab move, and your stab where you're going to get all the power off if you can. So if they don't resist it, use Return, unless of course you have a better alternative if they're weak to fighting type moves, etc. Then we have Ice Punch. I put Ice Punch here rather than sort of Fire Punch or Thunder Punch, because Ice Punch generally is more helpful. For example, Gliscor especially is one, I guess, if you're not running Ice Punch, it's the big counter to Lopunny, because it's going to resist Drain Punch, etc. It's going to be immune to Thunder Punch, it's going to resist Fire Punch, I think. Don't hate me if it doesn't, but it's just off the top of my head. But Ice Punch completely screws up Gliscor, 4 times weak to it, so it's very good. And Ice Punch, it's a good counter against most things, I guess. Dragonite can get blocked by it. After you're not going to want to kill it, of course, but you guys get the idea. Ice Punch is generally the best choice to have, in my opinion, but that's just me. You can run Fire Punch or Thunder Punch there if you want. The last slot we have Fake Out, Fire Punch or Thunder Punch. I prefer Fake Out because you can get some damage off, you get, just as I said, it's free damage pretty much, so it's something you can run there. Or you can run Fire or Thunder Punch just to get some extra, I guess, coverage off, so it's up to you whether you want to get some free damage or some extra coverage that might help you in the future, who knows. Ability here is Limber, which is the hidden ability, because who wants to get paralyzed? No one, so you may as well run Limber. Nature is Jolly One, because the speed is the only good stat a normal Lopunny has. It has a fairly good attack stat, but speed is what you really want to boost off of there. So the held item, Choice Band, is going to help you boost up your damage a fair bit, as is Life Orb. Assault Vest is it's a bit of a weird item, but it can work. because obviously you're using all offensive moves here. There's no status moves, so Assault Vest could be used to boost up your special defense, which is already sort of fairly high. It's not amazingly high, but it is half decent, so you could use it fairly well there, just to boost up your special defense. And then Eevee's maximum attack and speed. Do I really need to talk about that? Just get them all the power off, all the speed off. Rest in defense, just because your physical defense is slightly lower than your special defense, so putting the bit in there just boosts it up, so it's slightly closer, so they're slightly more equal. So that's really that set. You know, you'd switch in, you use Fake Out if you have it, and then you use the move that's best suited for the job. If you're choice banded, you then switch back out. If you're life orbed, you could switch moves depending on what they're going to bring out, etc. If you're assault vested, then obviously you're just going to do the same. So really, that's that set done. The second set is the one that uses Klutz. So listen up, boys and girls, of course. Moveset here is a switcheroo. Encore, Healing Wish, and Thunderwave. Ability is Klutz, as I said. Nature can be timid or jolly. Held item, okay? Choice Scarf, Choice Band, or Choice Specs. Eevee's maximum health points, maximum speed, and the rest in special defense. So, okay, Klutz. It renders your held item useless. But that also means Choice Scarf, it's not going to give you the speed boost, but that also means it's not going to lock you into a single move. Which makes you the best type of user to use Switcheroo, to switch items. You can give any Pokemon a different item, okay? Obviously, every Pokemon you can use Trick to get rid of a Choice Scarf or whatever, which is, you know, again, it's pretty good. But Switcheroo, again, is another option. And if you don't want to use Switcher, if the Pokemon coming out, say you got Choice Scarf, if they send out a Dragonite, you don't really want to Choice Scarf a Dragonite if you can help it, because they're going to be faster, and they're going to, you know, if they use Outrage, unless you've got a Fairy, you can't stop it, for example. You might not want to Switcheroo, okay? So you might want to Encore, you might want to Thunder Wave, etc. So you can do that, and then you can Switcheroo after, because it's not going to affect it. You're not stuck on Thunder Wave. Whereas if you're using a Trick user, for example, Rotom Wash can, you know, carry Trick. So you have Trick there. Say a Dragonite comes out, again, you might not want to Choice Scarf a Dragonite. What can you do apart from switch out? You could, I don't know, Thunderbolt it, okay? But then you're stuck in Thunderbolt. You can't Trick it if another Pokemon comes out, for example. So Switcheroo and Klutz gives you that option of waiting to actually switch the choice item over rather than having to do it straight off the bat, for example. So that's that there. Encore, again, as I mentioned earlier, if they've just used a move that's, I don't know, say they used to use a Shadow Ball, okay? And then you switch your Lopunny out. You could use Encore, and they would Encore into Shadow Ball, and you'd be immune to it for a few turns, and they'd either have to switch out or just deal with it. That'd be a brilliant use of Encore right there. Healing Wish, I mentioned earlier. If you're low on health, you can use Healing Wish and heal yourself up. Or not heal yourself up, what am I saying now? Heal another Pokemon, heal another party member up, which is, you know, better in some cases. Thunder Wave is the last option here, and obviously you're fast, so you might be able to get Thunder Wave off beforehand, for example there. So ability Klutz said, Nature, Timid or Jolly. Here we're just looking for a speed boost, okay? We haven't got any offensive moves, so it doesn't matter if we use Timid to reduce our physical attack or Jolly to reduce our special attack, because we're not using any physical moves or any special moves. They're all status, so really anything that boosts speed. You don't want to lower your defenses, however, so you may as well lower one of the attacks. Held item. Choice Scarf is the basic one, because obviously Choice Scarf is going to make you faster than the Pokemon, so you're faster than whatever they send out pretty much, so you can switch on Choice Scarf straight away, rather than actually they might be able to get some damage off on you and maybe even one hit KO you, depending on the Pokemon of course, before you can even use Switcheroo. So Choice Scarf is the best option in my opinion, but you could run Choice Band or Choice Specs, because that gives you the option of, you know, using it on a, say you want to, you know, Choice Band a special attacker. Yeah, that would be brilliant. Choice banding a special attacker, they don't even get a boost and then they're locked into it anyway, or choice specking a physical attacker. So if you do want to take those and maybe hold on to it and use it at the right point, that's a possibility. However, you're going to be slower, so you have to watch out for that really there. But Eevee's again, maximum health points just to bulk you up a bit so you can actually survive the attacks. Maybe, you know, if you survive your Switcheroo, then you can just use a Thunder Wave on them as well, so to screw them up even more. And the maximum speed, just again, speed boosts. And the rest in special defense, you could put rest in physical defense here, this doesn't really matter. Putting rest in special defense hopes that they're going to be a special attacker, so you can actually bulk out a few more moves. It's only like 1 or 2 status points really, or stat points here, so really it doesn't matter what you put in defense or special defense, but you can just choose one there really. But that is that set there. It can be used if you know how to use it in the right way, I guess. So that's that. Then, the last set, we have the Mega Lopunny set. moveset is Drain Punch or High Jump Kick, Return, Ice Punch, and then Fake Out, Fire Punch or Thunder Punch. The same set as the offensive normal Lopunny one, yeah, because that's the moves for Lopunny pretty much. Ability is Limber, just to stop you getting paralyzed before you Mega, really. If you switch in and they use Thunder Wave, then that might screw you over, because a Mega Lopunny paralyzed is no Lopunny at all. So you want to have Limber, even if it's just for one turn. Nature here is Jolly because the speed is what we're building off most. We want it to be a really, really fast Pokemon. Held items are Lopunny because you want a Mega, obviously. And the EVs are maximum attack and speed, rest and defense, because what else would you want? You want the attack, you want the speed. What else do you care about? Defense is just to boost up to be the same as special defense pretty much. So, moveset, Drain Punch or High Jump Kick, Return, Ice Punch, Fake Out, Fire Punch, Thunder Punch. Drain Punch or High Jump Kick. High Jump Kick gives you the power, Drain Punch gives you the sustainability, and you could instead of running Fake Out, Fire Punch or Thunder Punch, you could have Substitute there and try and set a sub up and Drain Punch behind it, because that would allow you to stay in battle longer and actually get some damage off. So really it depends what you want to play. High Jump Kick gives you all the power, Drain Punch gives you sustainability, Return is your normal stab, Ice Punch, as I said, Gliscor is a good counter if you're not holding Ice Punch, so definitely run Ice Punch there. And as I said, it helps counter, especially flying types, for example, which you're weak to. You might want to run Ice Punch on, because if it's a fairly bulky one, no idea what bulky flying types there are, but if it's a fairly bulky one, they might be able to take a Return or a Drain Punch. Obviously, they're going to take a Drain. They're going to resist your flying type stab, but you guys get the idea there. Ice Punch is a good one to run. Again, Fake Out. It's good to actually run Fake Out on Mega Lopunny, because the first turn you Mega Evolve, guys, remember you don't get your speed boost, so for the first turn you're a Mega Lopunny, you're going to have 105 speed, which isn't the maximum speed you can have. So if you use Fake Out on that turn, you're guaranteed not to take any damage that turn, whereas if you don't use Fake Out, they could be faster and they could just one-shot you, if depending on, say they've got +4 attack in there and Aegis Slash, okay? They're not really fast in you, are they? But you guys get the idea there. So Fake Out is a very viable move to run, in my opinion, on a Mega Lopunny, but Fire Punch and Thunder Punch is the alternative. Of course, you could also run Protect here just to wait for the speed boost, but Fake Out you may as well, because you're probably going to get the Fake Out off, and you may as well get some damage off at the same time, especially with that high attack stat. But, as I said, Fire Punch and Thunder Punch is another alternative there. But really, with a Drain Punch or High Jump Kick, Return, and Ice Punch, you've got most types covered here. The only ones you might struggle with are... no idea. Because, Return and Ice Punch, yes, they're not going to do very good at Steel. But, Drain Punch is going to screw Steel up. Pretty much any move they can cover there. So the 3 moves there are pretty good coverage. Not all super effective, but Return can hit most things for neutral. And Ice Punch and Drain Punch can clear out the ones they can't, pretty much. But that's that there. That's Mega Lopunny. How do you use it? As I said, you could use Fake Out on the first turn. If not, just go for the attack. Unfortunately, I think it might get a quick attack. But really, is quick attack that useful, especially when you've got Return available for Mega Lopunny? Not really. But, there's not really any priority you can use, but you can indeed just go for the power. So that's pretty much it for Lopunny. I don't want to go too much more on. I've gone for almost half an hour now, so I speak too much in these videos. But now, guys, that's going to be it for this episode covering Lopunny. If you enjoyed it, if it helped you out, be sure to smash the like button. Be sure to remember, that's the one, to smash that like button down below and suggest some more Pokemon for me to cover, some more Mega Evolutions for me to cover in the coming weeks. I'm happy covering some more Mega Evolutions because I want to cover some more just to celebrate the new year and the new series, why not? But guys, remember to check out all the other content on LumioseStation. I'll be seeing you next time. Thank you for watching. Goodbye, my friends.